Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the second Maiden's tragedy, and we get to hear from Lady today in Act 3, Scene 1. So the stuff that has happened, Lady and Gavianus were able to convince Helvetius to not pimp her out to the Tyrant King, but the Tyrant King didn't like that response, so he arrested Helvetius, put him in prison, stripped him of his titles, gave his titles to Siphonorus, along with a jewel that Siphonorus is supposed to take to Lady to try to convince her to come and be with the Tyrant King. The Tyrant King also told Siphonorus to gather up a whole bunch of guys, ruffians, former criminals, whatever, so they can surround Gavianus' house. And if it takes Siphonorus too long to bring Lady out voluntarily, they're supposed to go break in and abduct her and bring her to the Tyrant King. So that was the end of Act 2, Scene 3. Lots of impending doom there in that respect. So Act 3, Scene 1, we're in Gavianus' house. We're with Lady and Gavianus. And there's a servant there who's like, there's somebody here with a message for Lady from the king. And Gavianus is like, are you sure? Go double check. And the servant is like, I already told him who's here. But he goes and he double checks and he comes back and he's like, yes, there's somebody here with a message for Lady from the king. So Gavianus starts freaking out a little bit. He has a very sort of terrified and frantic energy about him in this. So the servant goes to let Siphonorus in. It's Siphonorus that has come to meet them. And Lady's like, what do I say to him? Because obviously saying no didn't do anything. I've already said no, and that wasn't acceptable. And Gavianus is like, yeah, you're right. Like, this is going to need a little something else. So Siphonorus comes in, and he has this jewel from the Tyrant King, and he presents it to Lady, and he's like, this is a gift for you with all best regards from the king. And Gavianus pulls out his sword and stabs Siphonorus, like runs him right through. Siphonorus doesn't die right away, though, but as he is falling and dying and gasping for air and that sort of thing, he's like, your house is actually surrounded by a bunch of ruffians, and if I don't go out there in an hour, they're going to come in here and steal her. So he's sort of like chuckling about this and reveling in the fact that they don't win anyway. And a servant comes back in and he's like, yes, the house is completely surrounded. Every window that I look out of, there's people out there waiting to come in. And Siphonorus is like, well, at least I'm going to be avenged quickly. And then he dies. So the servant goes back out and we just have Gavianus and Lady and this dead body left on stage. And Gavianus is like, oh my God, they're coming for me. And Lady is like, they're not coming for you. They're coming for me. So you have to get rid of me. Like, it's dangerous for both of us for me to be here. So you're going to have to kill me. That's the only way out of this. And Gavianus is like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't think I can do that. And she's like, well, do you think it's better for me to be abducted and raped? Because at least if you kill me, I will die being forever yours and nobody can ever take me away from you. So she kneels down to pray to start like preparing herself for this. And the two of them have some back and forths where he's like, I can't do this. How can I do this? What do I do? Like, she's the love of my life. And she's like, but you have to do this because the alternative is worse. There's guys out there, they're going to steal me. I don't want anything to do with the Tyrant King. Like, you have to do this. So she makes her peace with it. She says her prayers, everything. And then the ruffians start knocking on the door to check on Siphonorus. Like, is it time for us to come in yet? Are you coming out anytime soon? And Gavianus is like, okay, but how do I even do this? And she's like, well, you're going to have to stab me in the chest. So Gavianus musters up all of his courage and all of his chutzpah, whatever, and he's like, okay, I'll do this. Prepare yourself. And she says, never more dearly welcome. And Gavianus runs at her with his sword, but misses and falls down. Alas, sir, my lord, my love, oh, that poor spirited man, he's gone before me. Did I trust to thee, and hast thou served me so, left all the work upon my hand, and stole away so smoothly? There was not equal suffering shown in this. And yet I cannot blame thee. Every man would seek his rest. Eternal peace, sleep with thee. She takes the sword. Thou art my servant now. Come, Thou hast lost a fearful master, but art now preferred unto the service of a resolute lady, one that knows how to employ thee and scorns death as much as great men fear it. Where's hell's ministers, the tyrant's watch and guard? 'Tis of much worth when with this key the prisoner can slip forth. And then she stabs herself. So, unpacking all of that, she says, okay, I'm ready, come at me. So he comes at her, but he misses and he falls over, and she presumes that he's dead. So the first little bit is she's lamenting him. She's like, oh, like, did he just have a heart attack and die right in front of me before I could do this? Was this too much on him that he just couldn't and he's dead? So she's like, that's really unfair of him to die without killing me, because now I have to do it myself, and how unkind of him to make me now have to do this myself. But she's like, okay, I get it though, no man actually wants to do this. So she sort of blesses him, and she picks up the sword and she says to the sword, okay, you used to belong to him, but you belong to me now, and I know how to use you, and let's get this done. And this is my escape from this prison that I'm in. And she stabs and kills herself. At which point Gavainus comes to, because he didn't die of a heart attack. He just maybe passed out or couldn't do it. So he comes to, and there's more knocking on the door, and the men start shouting that it's time to break in. And Gavainus is going to have a monologue tomorrow when he takes a look around and sees what happened while he passed out. We're in the thick of the tragedy now, but come on back tomorrow for more, and we'll see how much worse it gets. I'll see you then. Mwah.